Greetings and assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to another video. This is your host Munir, and in this video I'm going to cover the topic of AWS Elastic Load Balancing. In this video I will be covering the overview of AWS Elastic Load Balancing along with its types, use cases, and in upcoming video I will definitely do a hands-on lab that how you can create a application load balancer on AWS. Okay, so there are multiple strategies. So definitely I will cover those strategies in upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. But right now, let's start with the overview of AWS Elastic Load Balancing. So, what does AWS Elastic Load Balancing does? In simple words, it does two things. One is to distribute the incoming traffic across multiple targets. Like target would be like EC2 instances, containers, or IP addresses. Okay. And the other thing that AWS Elastic Load Balancing does is reverse proxy. So in the last few videos, I have covered the reverse proxy concept using Nginx, and you can definitely use the Nginx as a reverse proxy and load balancing. And that tool is open source, so you can definitely check out in my YouTube channel. I have already covered that video that how you can create a reverse proxy. Okay, so if you talk about the AWS native load balancing service, so there is a service called AWS ELB, which stands for Elastic Load Balancing traffic director, which means that ELB sends website visitors to the correct servers. Okay, in the front end the load balancer will be there, and in the back end there would be like there will be multiple servers, not only single server. If you have single server, in that case the load balancing will not be working. Okay, so you have to make sure that at least there should be two servers behind load balancer, so it should distribute the traffic accordingly. So the second point is load sharing. Spreads the incoming traffic evenly across healthy servers to prevent slowdowns, and it also provides the health checks to check whether the backend server is running or not, so that it could distribute the traffic. But it has to make sure that your backend server should be up and running state, so that the upcoming traffic would be diverted to that specific server. Okay, it also provides the auto scaling feature. It also adjusts the capacity to handle more users as your application grows. Okay, and I have already told that it also provides the reverse proxy, and you can use ALB for reverse proxy and incoming traffic distribution purpose. So this is the overall hierarchy. Like for example, you have application load balancer, and this is your website called example.com, and you have three different path. One is orders, other is images, and third one is registration. So as you can see that if user one hits direct at example.com/orders, so the application load balancer will distribute the upcoming request to this target group. Okay, so if someone requests the images path, so that application load balancer will redirect to that this host path. Okay, and if someone redirect to registration, so application load balancer will redirect to registration path. Okay, so this is the overall hierarchy. So if you talk about the load balancing in cloud computing, so there are multiple factors, but these three factors are highlighted, which I have written down for demo purpose. So it ensures enhancing availability, and it also improves the reliability, and it also boosts your application performance. Okay, so we have different types of elastic load balancing. One is classic load balancer, which is the old type, and it is now going to be obsolete by AWS in upcoming months or in year, or I guess it might have been obsoleted. So I will definitely check and update you in upcoming videos. Okay, so we have classic load balancer, we have application load balancer. Third type is network load balancer, and the fourth type is gateway load balancer. Okay, just ignore this heading. I mistakenly typed the third as a gateway, second as a NLB, and first one is ALB. So the first type is classic, second is application, third is network load balancer, and fourth one is gateway load balancer. Okay, so basically, if we talk about classic load balancing overview, so it's basically a basic load balancing which distribute the traffic across multiple EC2 instances. It is suitable for application built with the EC2 classic network. Okay, so it is the first type which is now obsoleted. So I'm not sure it is obsoleted or not, but this type is not being used anymore by most of the companies or organization. So we always prefer to use either application load balancer or network load balancer. Okay, so the application load balancer works on layer 7. What does layer 7 means? Layer 7 of OSI model. Okay, so we have 7 layers of OSI model. The first one is application, second one is presentation, third one is session, fourth one is uh, network, physical, data link, and so on. Okay, so it basically works on application layer. Okay, so what is the use case of ALB or application load balancer? It is used ideally for microservices architecture and application that require advanced routing capabilities. Okay, and it is being widely used as a ELB type. Okay, so this is the commonly used application load balancer, which is being used widely. Another type is NLB, which we call as network load balancer. Okay, this load balancer works on layer 4 of OSI model, and it basically provides the one of the best feature, which is to handle millions of requests per second with ultra low latency. Okay, so if you talk about the use case, so it is being used best for application that requires extreme performance and need to manage sudden spikes in traffic. You can consider example like Netflix or any other TV series or any other streaming service where you don't want to your users to leave your platform if there is some downtime. Okay, so you have to make sure that you should retain your customers or users so that they can watch their favorite TV shows. Okay, or if you are using gaming based application, so you have to ensure that you should not get your application should not get any downtime. So if there is a downtime, so there might be a chance that you will be that the users or customer will uh, look for another platform, which is not a good thing. Third one is gateway load balancer. Basically, this type of load balancer is being used where your where there is a VPN connection or endpoint, and you want to check and identify, for example, if you have firewalls, you have intrusion detection and prevention system, and you have deep packet inspection. Basically, this type of load balancer is advanced type of load balancer, and it is being used where you have a secure infrastructure connection, like using or accessing the infrastructure or resources through VPN tunnel or any other endpoint. So in that case, you would be using gateway load balancer. Okay. Okay. So if we talk about the comparison of ELB types, so classic load balancer will be used for legacy application and basic load balancing needs. If you talk about the natively service that you want to use on AWS environment, so classic load balancer would be suitable. But this type is now going to be obsolete in future. So we have three types. Either you can use application load balancer, network load balancer, or gateway load balancer. Choose for modern web application needing advanced routing and microservices support. Okay, so I will definitely cover the topic of microservices in future. So stay tuned for that. And network load balancer is widely used for handling millions of requests per second. Okay. And if you talk about the use case of elastic load balancing, so we already covered that we have multiple factors or examples like e-commerce based application, gaming application, and streaming based platform like Netflix and any other uh, video platform. If you talk about the integration of ELB with other services, so you can use EC2, ECS. I will cover this topic in future. ECS stands for Elastic Container Service. Okay, and it also works natively with AWS auto scaling. So in the upcoming video, after the hands-on of load balancer, I will cover the concept of auto scaling along with its lab implementation. Okay. So there is another concept in load balancing called as health checks. So health checks concept is to ensure that your EC2 or any other target should be available and it is up and running behind the load balancer. So it should basically it used for regularly monitoring the healthy target, and it also ensures that if upcoming traffic needs to be divided across the multiple targets, so health check would be the option that it will provide the insights, or it will let AWS load balancer that the backend server is running and it is available to handle requests of users. So if any instance failed a health check, so ELB will stop sending traffic to it until that specific or that target recovers. Okay, so this is the concept of health checks. So security features of AWS ELB is it also provides SSL TLS termination and DDoS protection. What the concept of SSL TLS is, it also encrypts the traffic between clients and load balancer. You can monitor and log your ELB status or insights with the CloudWatch or ELB access log. Okay. And if you talk about the best practices, so you can use regularly review the health checks, and you can use or implement the SSL TLS for secure connection, and you can utilize or you can use AWS auto scaling to uh, handle the traffic according to user needs or application needs. And if there would be a multiple requests that only two servers cannot handle, so through auto scaling, another few servers will be provisioned and the traffic will be distributed equally. Okay. So if you talk about the conclusion, the role of ELB in modern application, so elastic load balancing plays a crucial role in modern cloud application, and it also ensures availability and improve the performance, and it also ensures efficient traffic distribution. Okay, so this is the hierarchy diagram of elastic load balancing. Users come from internet, and that internet is redirecting to application load balancer, and application load balancer is distributing application across multiple targets. So basically we have ECS, EC2 or any other IP, and these servers are being provisioned with the help of auto scaling. So we will be definitely cover application load balancer and auto scaling group combined in a separate video. Okay, so this is the overall hierarchy diagram, and this is the overall concept of elastic load balancing. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will definitely come up with the hands-on lab of load balancer, and I will cover more videos related to cloud and DevOps in future, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much everyone, and take care of yourself and your loved ones.